Okay. Okay. Then yesterday class we talk about the function with return value. We just start my topic is functions. Okay, how the
Mm-hmm.
function we use here and how we do the functions, right? Then
Mm-hmm.
we continue after the functions. The last class we talk about function with return values. Okay. Then next topic is your function with default values. Okay. I'll just say it here. Next topic is my function with default values. Okay. अरे यार पता नहीं क्या चल रहा है ये function with default values, right?
Mm-hmm.
Function with default value means that if you define some functions here, suppose you can use void, int, whatever it is, it's just a matter. Okay, you know what how to use the voids and int, and just use the void, and then function name. Suppose here I just here's about details. Name is the details, and then here I just write one thing is my history name, and then string credit rate. Okay. And then equal to I use here, and then inside the country we just write India, okay, as a default name.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll just see out. I use here. My name is. I just write name here, and leave it, and then put here the country name, and after that use the and right here. Okay, if I use here the
Mm-hmm.
int main, and here I just call the details for function and write the name is. Okay. Live in India. Just suppose I just write here to Dubai. Okay. Then what's this see here? When we run this one and then just check this out, then what's really happen? Here, my name is Shoaib and live in Dubai. Right? If
Mm-hmm.
I just use this and then one details I enter here, suppose I just enter Vishal only, and we don't enter here the country name. But you remember that if you assign two parameters, always assign is two argument values. But if I assign the only one pair values, not the second one, then what will we do? Here, this will be take his default values. Okay. In the
Mm-hmm.
function, inside the function, you can also define as a default values, as a default parameters, where you can use whenever you can't assign here any values. Right? So you can
Mm-hmm.
also do these things also. This is better for you for making your function is better understandable and then usable. Okay, so this kind of things will be used for the some of the uh, forms things you can create it here and inside you can define all the variables and anything inside this function. You can just use it and then inside the form sometimes you take it up default values. Suppose it's null and then any other values right there. Okay, so then you can use it this point of part is here. Okay,
Okay.
next one. All right, good. So next one is come to the part is pass by reference. Okay, we just use as a value is pass by reference. Uh, next topic is my it is a function topic cited pass by reference. Okay, you can
Yeah.
also pass a reference to the function. Function. Okay, you can also pass the reference by to the function. Right? How to do that? We just use here. You can we just use here void. I just make one object and then I make a swapping numbers program. Okay, swap number program. I just make here the swap number program. Okay. So first of
Mm.
all, I use a void. Name is a swap num. Okay. swap number, anything we need here, integer, and then here I use the AND operator for the memory address references. This is called reference operator also, and then int var. Okay, both of them you can use the AND operator right here. Okay.
mm,
After that, we just create as a z equal to x, right? And then here just I want you use x is equal to y and then y is equal to z. Okay. These three things here to be used to for the fx. In the z value, we just insert the x value. In x value, we insert the y value, and y value, we insert the z value. This is the process of the swapping the numbers. Okay. This is just a simple for the simple function for the swapping number.
so
Mhm.
so when we say swap number int and x and int and y, we are saying
Mhm.
um the and represent it's a memory. It's going to the
Yeah,
look.
yeah, and represents this in memory address. Okay. Then how to use this inside this one? And main, just I complete this one program. Okay. The stages are what to do. Okay, I just use an and one value right here. And suppose I use a trend and then in and two, I just use the 20. Okay.
Mm,
And just I just print is before swap. I just what's the value of n in n1 and n2. Here just uses and then here the out n1 equal to n1 values. Okay. And two equal to here and two values. Right. And then here and L will be two. And after the when we call the swap number program, okay, and then here just put one and one comma and two. Okay. I just call the
mm,
first swap number program function, and then after that I just use the C out again, and then I here after the swap, okay, and here and then I use it, and then make them as C out, and then here same thing I just print here, just I just copy this line and then paste here, same line, copy it and paste it. Okay. And then just check this out. This program is work or not. If I run this one, code, okay, here what you got say n1 is equal to 10 and n2 is equal to 20. But after the swapping, what's the happen? N2 is converted into 20 and n1 is converted into 20 and n2 is converted into 10. Okay. That's why because here this number is transferred to this one and this will be store the memory address, not anything here. This one is storing the memory address, and after the memory address you can swap the memory address. Then value will be also swap it. Okay, that's why this is called pass by reference. That's why you use as a reference operator here, where you can store not a value. Here I store that this variable memory address, and then for the on behalf of memory address, I just swap it and again insert inside n1 and n2. That's why here we can swap the memory address and then after the memory address n1 and n2 memory address are changed and value are also changed by the reference
um
values. But correct?
on top you said int x equal I mean z equal x, right? For
Yeah.
the other ones, there's no int. Like why is that? Or we don't
Other
need an
one
int.
was.
Like for x equal y
Yeah,
and y
this is
equals
already defined here. This is already defined, but you don't need to be defined as an int and anything because at a one time I just define it, okay, and just I just swap it right here. We don't need to be defined again. Okay. But this
oh
is denoted.
so
This is denoted. This is denoted as a memory address just says. Okay, but we define the x and y here.
okay, then
Okay,
why we said in z equal x.
because one variable we need to be swapping. Because if do this one, this will be no swap is this will be equal these values. That's why we need the one extra variable for storing the one values. After that, we can swap this one. Z is storing the
Mm,
x values, x is stored the y value, and after that, y again is stored the z value. Okay, step by step.
yeah, I see.
Okay, that's why
Mm-hmm.
we say for the swapping the number, we need the third one variable also. Without that one, we can't swap
Okay.
it. Okay.
Okay.
That's why we
Mm-hmm.
use this in chat. Got it?
Okay.
This
Got
is
it.
just a
Mm-hmm.
simple example for the pass by offense examples by using the swapping number. Just make it the function for the swapping number, and then how much time you can use it, you can use this one. Got it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then come to the next one topic is here. Okay. Then next one is my pass arrays as function parameters. Okay, we can also pass the array value arrays as a function parameters. Okay, how can we do that? For this one, I just use a void. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I just use one thing is suppose my function I name here, whatever name you can use here, and then I just define this int num, and then inside it we just define here the value also. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
suppose 5. We want to find
Mm-hmm.
numerical values here. So inside the
Mm-hmm.
parameters we also define as an array variables. Okay. And then I
Mm-hmm.
want to print this number one by one. So how to do this? Just int and equal to.
And
Yeah, I you can
I
denote this one as
equal
example.
0, y
I
less
is
than
less than
5,
okay, and I
I
plus
plus
plus we use here,
plus,
and then here we just use to be
C
C
out.
out. And yeah, I just call
Mm.
mine function, mine not a mine function is num here,
Num
and put
5,
not
num
it's
I, num
num
I,
I.
num I,
Okay,
num I. Okay.
and this
And,
simple one I just use it, and then I just make here. After this, I just int main use here,
mm,
and this is my int main, and then here I'll just define is in number variables and form of arrays. Like 5 values I assign here. And this I just use 10, 50, okay, 60, 30, and 48, right? 5 values I
mm,
assign here. And then what I do, I just call the function, my function, and then inside the function I just insert the and value on it. Okay, that's it. After
mm,
this, I just take this one and just see that yeah, this program is work or not.
mm. So,
This will work.
um, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if I want to
Mm-hmm.
ask um the user to input, then I will
Yeah.
say int, in main I will create a variable, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
I will assign that variable to the 5, like
Mm-hmm.
n5, right? And
Yeah, yeah.
before, I mean, about that, I will see out, enter the value, enter the 5 or enter how many values,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and then see in that.
Okay, you can
Yeah,
also
that's
do
right.
it aside the you can try this one also. Those what you want to, you can assign and set the value by yourself. This one you also do by in the array topics also. Okay, but in this case we can also use here the functions for
Mm,
this part. Okay. So for this
mm-hmm,
part, you want to sum here, so you can also use a sum of this value and then sum of this all the values. Okay, if you
mm.
want to sum this, and this value program is will make here is equal to
Plus,
num I semicolon. Okay, and then after that you can print here the sum of the all other values. And then put here the sum, and then also you can use and for
mm,
this one.
okay.
Okay, and then if you run this one, then this will work. Okay, some of the all
Mm,
other values will be shown here. Okay, same thing you
okay.
can do here by using this way. You can also assign the ages as a functional parameters. This is state way you can got it.
Mm-hmm,
Okay, okay. Just a clip. Okay, then come to the next one part is this is the function overloading. What's the function overloading is this? Next topic is my function overloading. I just write the function overloading topic. Its name as function overloading. Okay, which functions multiple functions can have the same name with different parameters. Okay,
Mm,
this is called a function overloading. Okay, just we see this thing one by using the example how to use this one. I just use here. Okay, so one example I use here. I just use int sum. I just name is a sum here,
mm,
and then I use
mm,
the int n1 comma int n2. Okay, this
mhm,
is and simple. I just use here the return n1 plus n2. This one is correct. Okay, this thing will be do here. But next one I just use here, not a int here I use here. Here I use a double, and then same name of the function. Not the same name of the sum int. I just use a sum int, and then here I just use a sum double. Okay,
mm,
name is a double. I use double. Data type is different, but its parameters value is same. Okay, what
mm,
we use here. Parameter name value is same. Parameters name is same, but data type is different in both the cases. And then here this will also do same thing. Okay, and
mm,
one plus n2, right? Same
mm,
operation will be, but data types will be changed here. This is called as a function overloading, where we have to define same of the function, but using the different type of data types right here. Okay. Sometimes we do this way also. Like, if I use int main here and then I just specify int result one, and then in the result one, I just call the sum int. Okay. Sum int, and
mm,
inside the sum int, I just put two values, 8 and 9. Right?
mm, mm,
And also, I use a double. For the double one, I use here the double, not use the int because it's not specified the int here. And then once I use sum double. Okay.
mm,
And then we use here to suppose here 4.56 comma 3.2325, right? So in
mm,
the double, we can assign the value in decimal values also, but in integer, I can't assign here the decimal values. Okay,
yeah,
if I use C out, okay,
mhm,
integer sum, I just use the integer sum, and then put here the R1 values. Here, just check
mm,
this out, what they do. And then here, I just use double sum. And here are two value we use here, and just check this out. What's the output is given here. Okay. Integer 770 here, 8 plus 9 is 17, and then here 7.81. This perfectly these will be done. But in both the
mm,
cases, we use a different data type, but here we use the same name of parameters and then same process we use here. But what we do
mm,
here, we use a different data types for both the purpose.
mm,
And then remember that what's the data type you use? If you use the integer, then you can assign the value in form of integer. You have got the integer type values. If you got the double type values, then always you assign the valuable values as form of double. Okay. This
okay,
is called a this is called a function overloading, where we define same types of function but do in different form of data types. Okay, that's where this is called a function overloading. Okay,
mhm,
this is just a way. Okay, you can how many of the function you can define here? Okay, not for the two one, you can three one four one. How many days are got it?
mhm, mhm.
Okay, this is called a function overloading. Got it?
So,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
for
And
function overloading, it means like um
mm-hmm.
we can have same variable names with different data
Data
types.
type. Yeah. Same variable name, but different data types.
Mm.
Okay, this is called a function
Um,
overloading.
what if it's doing two different operations? Like in the first one we said plus, right? What if it's
Mhm.
doing like minus
Yeah,
on the
you can
second one?
do. Do is as well also because if a different data types you can do it a different way. You can if you do here's a minus one, you can also do the minus one here. Okay,
Mm,
this doesn't matter what you do. Just you will explain there. two, this is called as a function overriding, where we define same type of thing but using a different type of data type, because different type of data type show the different type of results. Okay,
mm,
because in
mm,
integer we can't use a decimal values, right? That's why we
mm.
use a double instead of it. Okay, sometimes we
Yeah,
need
yeah.
the integer, sometimes we need a decimal places values also. Okay,
Uh-huh.
it doesn't matter, you can change this operator. It's just your choice which one you
Mm,
uses, right?
mm.
Okay. Okay, come to the next one is part is this is a part where you can talk about the last topic of the function is I just comment on this one part, and just I just use the last topic of function is my recursion. You know about the recursion?
No, I heard about it, but not sure.
Okay, this is a technique of making function call itself. Okay, this is just a technique where you can make the function call itself. This is called a function, and then sometimes
Mm,
this is act like as a loop. Okay, so recursion
mm,
is very it doesn't meet as difficult way. This I just explain what the recursion is. First, take an example here. Suppose I want to sum of these values int, and I use here sum. I want to say here the sum, and I you know about the loop. We can assign the condition, and then after that we can use here. In this case, we also use a condition. If I just apply here as a if condition and then use as n is greater than zero. If n is greater than zero, then what I want to do here, just I return the value, okay? And
mm.
and then again we plus and then again we have call the value with n minus one, okay? And if n is less than zero, then what I do? Just return the value is zero, right?
So
This
in
is
n is greater than zero, we're saying n plus some
mm. Just
n
say this.
minus
I
one.
just I just explain this one also again. I complete my program right here. And I just name as a result. And then here I just call the sum and then assign the values 10. Suppose it's inside the sum, I just use the 10 and just use
Mm,
C out. Okay. Sum of the n number of values. Okay. Is my and sorry result. And then put here handle and you can use yourself as handle or whatever it is. And if I run this one, then just check this one is what's the values got. Here we got the 55. How to got the
mm,
55? Where you can assign the values 10. Here we got the 10.
mm,
Right? And then
mm,
here we got the 10 here also. Again,
mm,
this function is called again, right?
mm.
And then how much value will be passed here? Here, n minus 1 means that you can minus one value here. So 9 values
Then nine.
again passed to this one. And the next
Mm,
time, we just add it. First of all, we add 10. After the 9 is come, then add the 9. Then 8 is come,
mm,
then add the 8. Then 7 is come, then add 7 is set. Then 5, 4, 3,
mm,
2,
two,
1. And after that, when value is less than 0, then what we got only got the 0. So last value will be
mm,
got here the 0 only. Okay. And
mm,
if I sum
mm,
up these values, we got 55. Okay, if you sum of these to all the values, we got the 55. When we loop is this function is false, and then this will be called return zero is stop your loop, stop your
mm,
recursion process. Okay, recursion is
mm,
just a way you can just create a logic where you can call the function itself as multiple
mm,
times. Okay. By this way, you can call the function and function as multiple times as see that's here the 10 times where because here we assign the values 10. Okay. How
mm.
much time you want to call it. This is called a recursion process. Got it?
Okay. Mhm.
If I assign here is 5 and I run it, then what we will do is 15 because we just add these 5 values. And then when we
Yeah.
add these 5 values, we got a 15 values. Okay, what's the
But
value will be take here? you can just sorry, not the added, these five values
Yeah,
will
the
be
other
added.
ones,
Okay,
right? Yeah, okay. Hmm.
okay, then not this one. And then if you add this one, you can got this one, right? And just save it again, right? So by using this recursion process, we just do this type of thing. Got it?
Mm,
Okay. If I do same of the code, and then one thing I change here, okay, just see that's it. One thing I change here, and then I just use here the minor is multiply symbol here. Nothing will we do
mm.
here, I think. Then what's the value is come?
So
Any
you
value come?
multiply.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, no,
Right.
because
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
wait,
Tell me.
let me see. N equal, if we say n equal 10,
10
and
multiply by
then
chalo,
and
9, 8,
yeah,
7.
and then
This one is shown here.
6, 5,
Okay.
4.
Oh, so
Mm,
something values you say that some values are come here. Okay. Right?
mm, yeah.
But what I say here, your output will become here the 0.
How?
So just first of all, I see here what's the value has come here. When we run this one, then what's the value will come here? Sum of not
Zero.
a sum here. I just write the multiply of the n number of values. I just use here. Not here. I just use a sum here. I just change the
Mm.
messages multiply of the n number of values, and yeah, this is called as a 0. Got it?
Why
Why
is
this
it
will be?
zero?
Why is 0? I just explain this. I just use a MUL because it's not a sum. It's MUL. So this I change the name also.
Mm,
Okay. Remember that here. You can show that here. You can just use it and then n minus 1, 10, 9, 8, 7. And if your value is 0, okay? If value is come to the 0, then at the end of this one, this value will be returned. Is the end of this
mm.
part. Got it? Same thing
Uh,
here. Yeah, this
I
0
see.
is also written here. That's why all the
Mm.
multiplication goes to 0
Always
because
still zero.
why? That's why this will cause 0. For what you
Mm,
do for avoiding this type of thing, just remember that here you can use a return 1. Okay. So
mm.
remember that where you want to return 1, where you want to return 0, this is fact of the this part, okay, where you can want to do here. Correct?
Or are we able to change if n less than one instead of zero?
If less than 1, then you can also here you can take the 0 also. Okay. You can 1, then this doesn't matter because this multiply 1 is going the same values right there. But
Mm,
okay. It doesn't matter if you use a 1. But I just use a 0 again and then I just and the same values will become here. Okay, doesn't matter.
mm.
But if you do same thing above that, above part, I just comment of this one first. And then if I do as the same thing, and less than 1 I take here. Okay, less than 1 I take here. And then
Mm,
I just run here, save it. Then what will cost here? 54, not a 55.
mm.
Why?
Because you
Because
stopped at the last
as
one.
2. 1 is
Mm,
not here. Okay. Then we got
mm,
only
mm,
54. But in this
mm.
case, we the multiply with 1, it doesn't matter. Multiply with 1 is come with the same values. It's nothing matter
Same.
to right?
Okay, so zero is important on top, and then we just change the return to
Yeah.
one. Okay.
Yeah. So this way you can make yourself as well. This is that's why I explain it because this is important. Sometimes this small thing will be mess your program, or and then you don't know what's happening right there. Okay, that's why I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
use this one. Okay, so by using
Hmm.
this way, you can make your algorithm and then add many of things right there. This is a concept for making algorithm type things, right? Correct. To just your way, you can do as well. Correct.
Mm. This is for algorithms?
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. That's clear. This topics.
Hmm.
Just practice this
Mm.
one, these topics because this is your function topic is completed right here. Okay.
Okay.
And after the next class, we start the OOPS concept. Okay. Any doubts, any
Oops.
question
Okay.
regarding this one?
Um, Not much.